Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hi there, welcome back.
So we're going to do an Earth Changes update here. There's some interesting stuff going on. Boy, the world is really a wild and crazy roller coaster ride.
It sure is. I mean, there's you want it, just go look for it and it's out there.
Yes, seek and you shall find.
Yes.
Cosmic ray radiation decreases as the new solar cycle is gaining strength. And as we talked about before, a big part of the shields of the Earth, obviously has to do with the magnetosphere, but also the interaction between the sun and the Earth's magnetosphere. And when the solar emanations come and interact, it creates an effect that helps the Earth's magnetosphere shield off the cosmic rays coming from elsewhere in the galaxy. So the sun, as we've talked about, is kind of a relay again. The way we view it is it's almost a relay coming from source.
Oh yeah. That's how I see sun. I mean, I see it as plasma, and I see our bodies as just a really dense form of plasma. So the energies go together to me naturally.
Yep. And so cosmic rays are permanently hitting Earth's surface, sometimes more, sometimes less. New data from cosmic ray balloons show that radiation levels in the air above our heads is decreasing as the new solar cycle 25 gains strength. So there's the latest data. As you see, it's been on the increase. But now that the solar cycle is picking up after the solar minimum, it's actually decreasing. The plot shows the cosmic rays in the stratosphere measured by radiation sensors scientists from Space Weather launched almost once a week from the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. And recent flights confirm radiation levels are decreasing for the first time since 2015. What are cosmic rays? Well, cosmic rays come from deep space, mostly from supernova explosions. To reach the inner solar system, they have to fight their way through the sun's protective magnetic field. Once cosmic rays hit Earth, they crash into the top of our atmosphere, creating a spray of secondary radiation, which we measure using high-altitude balloons. So why does it fluctuate? Atmospheric radiation shot up in the 2015-2019 time zone because then solar cycle 24 was decaying, the sun's magnetic field became weak and uncomplicated. Cosmic rays from deep space found it easier to reach us. Our highest measurements in late 2019 correspond with NOAA's official date of the solar minimum. Now the sun's waking up again. New solar cycle 25 is strengthening the sun's magnetic shield, and atmospheric radiation is dropping. Solar magnetic fields are strengthening, providing a stiffer barrier to cosmic rays trying to enter the solar system. The decline of cosmic radiation above California is a sign that new solar cycle 25 is gaining strength. Now, we will also be getting, blasts that many of us are feeling from these solar flares and CMEs that end up sending energy from the sun into us. And many people have noticed that when we have these events, wow, we get tired and we just have to lay down and just sort of go through it. So, it's a sign of the times that we're in. We are changing, our DNA is mutating, and we are awakening. And that is why you see everything going on. Yes. Everything's about that.
Everything going crazy. So yeah, we are getting these upgrades, and to let them resonate into the body and sort of mesh with you, it's really good. Just rest. Let your body rest.
Yes, we're going to need to. And many people are sleeping 12, 14 hours nowadays, kind of the opposite of where we were at before, where most people would maybe sleep for 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours. You need more in these times when these energies are coming in. And that is a tornado. And this is in China. And it's in a city. And it's just causing chaos and havoc. And, we checked and asked the guides about this. As you see, extreme flooding hits multiple provinces of China, capital of Beijing, brought to a standstill. And we asked the guides, is this WW? Is this weather? WARFARE? And, we get, that's the answer we get. Most definitely, this is tit for tat going on both sides.
It sure is. That was kind of concerned me when I heard that. So, yeah, we just need to stay prepared.
Yeah, most definitely. Prolonged heavy rainfall affecting parts of China over the past couple of days caused extreme flooding in several provinces, and the capital, Beijing, came to an entire standstill. And authorities issued an orange alert, second highest in the country's four-tier weather warning system. As much as 18 inches of rain in a matter of days. 18 inches of rain in a couple of days. And here we see, it looks like Godzilla went through there.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh my.
It does. I mean, just, everything flattened out. Cars look like Matchbox toys upside down. And this is that twister we were looking at. Just a amazing damage that we're seeing. Look at all those trees just snapped out. Houses obliterated in buildings. The extreme conditions there, as we said, just keep getting extreme. Sure, things would be happening because there are things that are naturally happening with the solar cycles, with the bigger picture of where we are in terms of the yugas. Because again, we have the precession of the equinox, and we have that it's 25,000 years roughly cycle where the sun goes around in its own orbit, and we go through these certain areas that have certain energetic effects. And then, of course, you have all the amplification and the artificial ingredients involved as well. Over in Switzerland, we had extreme weather causing widespread damage and flooding as well. A strong storm of rare intensity. Yeah, rare is a new norm, and this hit in Switzerland and Germany as well, and we see branches down everywhere. We see cars damaged. Of course, there's lots of power outages, trucks knocked off on their sides, and just down across the border in Italy, they had massive hail. As you see, apocalyptic footage from Italy, huge hailstorm. Yeah, cover your heads when you have, softball-sized hail coming on
For
down.
sure.
And we talked about expanding Earth theory, and here we see more sinkholes. This is in Manhattan, almost devours 2 cars. And again, it's fascinating how some of the cities of this world, especially like London, Paris, New York, they're layered on top of other older versions of themselves.
Layers upon layers. It's pretty fascinating.
And tunnels and all sorts of stuff with the inner Earth. It's fascinating. Powerful new paroxysm at Etna's southeast crater. Etna is busy. This is one of the ones that we're keeping an eye on. And we have a lot of volcanic activity going on. Color code, aviation color code raised to red. As you see, the clouds reaching almost 30,000 feet. And then over in Stromboli in Italy as well, major explosive eruption. All this is adding to the reasons why Antarctic ice levels are, well, they're increasing very fast. And here we see again up in Alaska, we have color code raised to orange as we have some activity over here. And we're waiting to see indications. I think we have some indications that we're going to be seeing some in the Pacific Northwest and just in the American West coming online soon. Cindy and I have been to a lot of places where we've seen massive amounts of lava everywhere.
Piles and piles of just volcano lava, dried, just piled up. It's incredible.
We got 67 large wildfires burning across the United States. More than 14,000 firefighters and support personnel are battling 67 large wildfires. They burned closing in on 1 million acres of land. So far, you got 13 in Idaho, 13 in Arizona, 12 in Montana, 8 in California, 6 in Alaska, 6 in Oregon, 3 in Washington, 2 in Wyoming, and 1 each in New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Minnesota even. New large fires reported in Arizona, California, Idaho, Montana, and Oregon on the 13th. We know this is coming, because the drought, the mega drought that's coming. So, again, we've got to do our rain dance, send our intentions out, and maybe start asking politicians why we don't have a better system in place to avert all these things. And I just got the picture of, people sending in petitions and stuff, and they end up on a desk. They're looked at and they're thrown in the garbage. That's, or just hitting the delete button because it's not part of the bigger picture. It's not part of the bigger agenda underway. There was 2 quakes that hit in this area in New Mexico, Capulin Peak, that most definitely sparked my interest. And our old place where we were staying in New Mexico, I could look out on the yard, as soon as we'd wake up, look out the window and see a old volcano right there. And in one corner of the yard, there was just tons of lava. And I really got the strong feeling that didn't happen too long ago. Not too long ago at all. You could tell. I mean, there's no way that's very, very ancient. And my feelings were it probably happened in the last several thousand years.
Well, they're never going to give us the truth, as far as timelines go. And in fact, they don't know the truth. I think the truth lies somewhere in the bottom of the Vatican, actually.
As we see here, the area that we're talking about, close to Galena, Mexico, and if you back out a little bit, you can see we're talking north of Albuquerque, northwest of Santa Fe. We know these areas very, very well. And New Mexico always have a affectionate feeling for us, I think. As in some aspects of the times that are, this area is going to be a good area in some ways, but there's always going to be challenges. I mean, we see now, obviously water. You can't have life without water. So, and then also the fact that you have no water, and you add on to the fact that, we have all the fires going. And then if we're going to have new volcanic activity, and by the way, there is a fault that basically splits New Mexico in half, east and west. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happened. Tremors were felt and reported across northern New Mexico by more than 300 people. And when we go on down, why is this interesting? Because it's part of a volcanic field. And when we look at the activity going on, it feels like we're going to be getting some new volcanic activity pretty soon. Capulin Volcano is part of an 8,000 square mile Raton-Clayton volcanic field, which contains at least 100 recognizable volcanoes and showcases the volcanic geology of northeastern New Mexico. It's an 8,182 foot high cinder cone volcano erupted, they say, 56,000 plus or minus 8,000 years ago. Crater rim is about a mile in circumference, and the crater is about 400 feet deep. We've been inside craters as well, which it was interesting because we were meditating inside one, and then all of a sudden I got like really feelings of the disaster that happened in the past, and people were there. People were there, and Cindy could see them and tap into what everybody was feeling. There are no perfect places, guys. What we have to do is be connected to Mother Earth so that when something comes our way, we're in tune. We know instinctively. There's a reason why animals leave an area. Sometimes days before an event happens.
They've been told.
Maybe even weeks. They know. They're in tune with Mother Earth.
That's really important to understand, that we have our hands in the dirt. We do our grounding so that we can be forewarned. And that might come in a way of visions or feelings or somehow, but Mike is right. These animals know because they're already meshed with her.
And we can know. And that's why indigenous people all across the globe, they had this ability. They had this connection to the earth. And we could develop it in these times very easy. It's just a matter of meditation. And Qigong, grounding, rooting, drawing up that life force, that earth energy, getting in tune with it. We've had a lot of quakes out in the West. You see 297 of 429 quakes in 24 hours all across the planet are here in the American West. Yeah, the Oklahoma ones and the Texas ones, for a large part, are due to fracking. As you see a 2.8 over here, guarantee you there's fracking going on. That's east of San Antonio. But we do see concentrations. These are up north of Mammoth Lakes, and there's a big swarm going on over there, and we've seen tons of swarming going on by the California-Nevada border. And we still own a little piece of land over in this area, and boy, I could just sense that at some point in time it's not going to be a good place to be.
Right.
That's why we did it, because we were close to family and it was very inexpensive. But yet, is it going to be something that will make it 20, 30 years from now, being in that area?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. There's going to be a tough go. We see swarming in China Lake, and we see a lot of quake activity down around LA and heading on down a little bit farther towards San Diego. But what's interesting too, when you look at this, you could see the line going straight from this area through Utah and heading up towards Yellowstone, as there is a plume that feeds Yellowstone, and that plume originates down here below California. And it's just interesting to see this activity. There's been a lot of swarming, a lot of activity up around Yellowstone in this area. And of course, we have a lot of wildfires. Is there a connection? Is there some stuff that's being hidden? Are there some vents coming out, ground warming that's causing some fires, as well as the artificial flavoring could be?
Yeah, could be.
Natural gas prices skyrocket globally due to historically cold 2021 and failing renewables. And we knew it happened in Texas and in Oklahoma, Arkansas. Horrible cold that we got again was a little bit of that warfare going on back and forth. And when you get your electric bill, and it's like all of a sudden, instead of being $200, it's $1,200, $1,600, or crazy. Again, it's reason to try to get to be as self-sufficient and counting on yourself as possible. Wood stoves, maybe a propane tank. Just think of alternatives to handle if we don't have a grid in the winter, or maybe we do, but we're in that situation where it becomes you can't pay for your rent, mortgage, and or food and stay warm at the same time.
Right. Well, they do make solar powered generators, so.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things to look at.
Yep.
Definitely. And look at this cloud down in Georgia. That is intense. That's in Commerce, Georgia. I've seen some amazing ones in Florida, some of those shelf clouds. Again, a sign of the times atmospherically going on. And we have another sad die-off. You got thousands of flamencos found dead in a drying lake. And the second largest lake in Turkey, by the way, 5,000 baby and adult flamencos.
Sad. It's so sad.
It is. They're so pretty.
Yes.
And, again, so much of this is due to artificial flavoring, so to speak. Corporate chemical runoffs and all the poisons and toxins that they're always spilling into place.
It's so sad. It's like this is the evidence of how imbalanced we really, really are on this planet.
And this, they say, is actually basically because of drought and the lack of water. And, again, I gotta think that we have the ability, if we wanted to avert all these things.
Yep.
I mean, if you got so much flooding in some areas, shouldn't you be able to take advantage of that and just ship it to other areas?
Send a rain cloud over there.
Yeah, right? So Diatomaceous Earth, we just got another big bag in because it is amazing stuff. Food grade diatomaceous earth has a lot of benefits. Benefits for humans. And you could put it in blender. You could, you can drink it straight up. It's kind of gross, honestly.
It's not that bad. I drank it this morning. I mean, I could barely tell there was any taste at all. And it really melted really nice in the water. So
I'm the wimpier one with that. I mean, usually I'm the one that's more tolerable with a lot of things. But when it comes to this, like taking bentonite clay and diatomaceous earth, it's like I really got to just try to just get it done,
I make him if he wants caplets, I make those for him, guys.
Yeah, so it does help to move things out of your intestines. It promotes healthier hair, skin, bones, and joints. So you can take it on an empty stomach. They recommend taking it in small doses, working your way up to a higher dose. Begin with about a teaspoon added to at least 12 ounces of liquid. Mix vigorously, drink immediately. Some people don't like the milky chocolate, not chocolate, I wish it was chocolate, chalky flavor and gritty texture.
But I just want to explain why you would want to work your way up, because you could have like a massive die-off of parasites inside of you. Get really
Yes.
sick.
Yeah. When you get down to it, this is basically like shells.
Yes.
Is really what it is. And so you can add it to smoothies, oatmeal, applesauce, yogurt even. As your body begins to detox from it, you might experience what's commonly known as die-off, as Cindy was talking about. Sometimes even giving people mild flu-like symptoms for a couple of days. That's a side effect of the toxins. So, the stronger the reaction, the more toxic you were. And the less toxic you were. Increase the fluid consumption. Again, how about benefits for the hair? Silica in diatomaceous earth is actually a primary ingredient for many of the overpriced hair supplements at your local pharmacy. If you have thinning hair, you can see new hair growth after a few weeks of taking diatomaceous earth, giving your hair a fuller, healthier look. Skin, collagen, another fundamental building block of healthy skin production, is helped by the presence of silica from diatomaceous earth. So that could make your skin smoother and healthier. Nails, again, it'll help for nails too, strengthen them. And it does do a parasite cleanse. It could help detox your digestive system, create better, more regular bowel movements as well. It's good all the way around. You can also use it externally as well. Even put it in toothpaste. You can make a paste for your skin as well, make a soap. There's so much you could do with it. And of course, many people that have farms, they use it out there. They put it in with the chicken feed and everything because it kills insects, parasites.
Fleas.
It's good for fleas. It's good for ticks. It does work.
Anything with an exoskeleton.
Anything with an exoskeleton, it actually drives them out.
Yep.
It's like they become just a shell. Everything on the inside, all the organs, it's gone. It's amazing how this stuff works. And something as simple as just walking can help your brain and actually lead to a larger brain. Yes. How about that? And when I used to train really, really hard, I would kind of, look at like a walk as being less than optimal. But, just even walking, if you could get in 2 or 3 miles every single day, you're going to increase, the benefits cardiovascular as well as so many other things as we get older, keeping your balance, flushing your lymphatic system. You have to move to flush your lymphatic system. It doesn't have a pump. And again, that's the septic system for the body in so many ways, as Zeke agrees.
Yes.
So this is pretty wild because this showed that walking can actually renovate the white matter in our brains and increase the actual brain size and cognitive function. So again, we got to exercise. You got to move it so you don't lose it. Neurogenesis. This is amazing stuff and so simple. There's so many things that are given to us in nature that we don't need, any sort of pharmacy for. We don't need any sort of doctor's recommendation for. We could just do ourselves, helping us to get out of the system. It's all about lifestyle, dietary changes, understanding, how we could naturally heal ourselves.
Well, the thing with natural is that, yes, it definitely takes a little bit longer, could take days, weeks, months, depending on what's wrong. But boy, you're actually curing the whole problem. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on it.
I was going to say, what you do is you get to the root cause.
Yes.
Instead of taking something that's going to mask the symptoms, but everything is still out of balance, dis-ease still exists. It's just been masked. You're actually getting to the root.
Yep.
And you're actually changing things at a fundamental level. And then you don't have that disease. You have harmony and balance. And Sassy agrees. That's her favorite guy. The UPS guy is coming. So thank you guys for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. Check out Medicinal Foods. There's a link on every video. as well for some healthy things to help the body and the mind and the spirit. Because when we feel good, then our vibrations are lifted up.
We do better.
Yes. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.